Well, hello, and welcome to part five of our stress management training. Uh, the past couple of weeks, we've talked about avoiding the stressful situation. Last week, we talked about the importance of altering the situation. And now I want to talk about adapting to the stressors. If you can't change the stressors, maybe you need to change yourself. Now, you can adapt to stressful situations and regain a sense of control by following a few important points. And I want to share a few things with you today that may be helpful. First of all, look at the big picture. Take perspective of the stressful situation. Ask yourself how important it is in the long run or the, the big scheme of things. Will it matter in a month from now? Will it be worth worrying about 6 months from now? What is the time element of this stressor? A lot of times, stressors are time limited. I've often said the most important thing that I can personally do for people is, and tell folks, is thinking of myself, that person standing beside me 10,000 years from today. The only thing they're going to be asking about is what did I do to help prepare them for eternity? So, putting that in perspective, sometimes our daily stressors are just daily stressors and just time limited. So maybe we need to adapt ourselves of really looking at the big picture. That'll help maybe think about what's important. Another area that we could do is maybe reframe our problem. Try to view stressful situations from a more positive perspective rather than turning each and every situation into a big traffic jam. We have an opportunity to pause, to reflect, and think, well, maybe I need to reframe this so I'm not looking through a area in negative glasses rather than positive glasses. I've had some people say, Andy, I wish I could live in a Andy world all the time. You seem to be so positive with it. I have my struggles too. But how often when I realize that I'm looking at a situation, it's not the problem, it's my perspective. And I need to reframe the problem and look at it differently. Another thing I could do in adapting this to the stressors is to adjust our standards. Sometimes perfectionism is our major source of unavoidable stress. That 100% on the exam is not near as important as the stress is causing you. Being perfect is not always obtainable, nor is it healthy for us. Sometimes it's okay to say that's just good enough. Sometimes our standards we put upon ourselves and the standards we put on others are unrealistic. So, in adapting to the stressors in our life, maybe we need to look at a different perspective and say, well, maybe perfect isn't what I'm shooting for. And probably one of the most important things we can do to adapt to the stressors of our life is practice gratitude. When stress is getting to get you down, take a moment and reflect on all the things you appreciate in your life, and including the positive qualities, the gifts, and the simple strategy that of gratitude will help put things in perspective. Have an attitude of gratitude. And I know I've talked about that before in other morning moments, and I've talked about that in my other videos. And it really ties in a lot of different areas. And when we loop around and talk about stress, it is a key point of adapting to the stressors in our life. So let's reflect what we talked about today. Adapting to the stressors in our life can include looking at the big picture, not being so tunnel vision of what's important for today and today only. Reframing the problem, looking at that situation from a more positive approach than a negative approach. Adjusting your standards and not allowing yourself to be pressured by the need to be perfect. And probably the fourth thing, again, the most important in my field, my thoughts is practice gratitude. Have that attitude of gratitude. Hey, thanks for joining me for part 5 of my stress teaching. And if you've enjoyed this, pass it along. Go back and look at some of the other trainings that I've had on Tuesday and also on YouTube. And we'll see you next time on our continuing teaching on stress management. You all have a great day.